Hey, it's Oska from the Frontrunner Colombo.
And Tom from the Frontrunner Colombo.
And Anna from the Frontrunner Colombo.
And you are listening to Run Spesh, our weekly running specialty podcast where we talk about the human locomotive movement we call running, and the original intro is back.
Oh, yes, hashtag bringing it back.
Hashtag rewind, hashtag rebirthed.
What did we say last week?
I don't know. You told me that you liked it. And then in a non-creepy way, I was thinking about how Tom just doesn't like change. Because we talked about changing the name of the podcast. And you're like, nope. And you're like, I used to like the old intro, Oscar. Tom just doesn't like change. He likes things status quo, which is a little bit like Tom's training. It's just status quo.
Just status quo.
Anyway, if you haven't listened to us before, this is to keep you entertained, hopefully in one of your 60 to 70 minute runs, maybe in the car on the way to work or the way home, or hey, maybe you're sitting on the couch with the kids watching us on YouTube. And if you are watching us on YouTube, you will see that the set looks a whole lot better than the last two episodes.
It is nicer.
We have a painted wall behind us and we have studio lights in front of us.
Very professional.
Yeah, and I'm trying to bring a little more energy than I did last week because I listened back to the whole 70 minutes of last week and
that was brave.
Yeah, we were flatter than a French crepe.
Yep.
Or Anna's flat white. Do you want to give that context or no? Okay, we're going to move on. We're going to swipe left on that one.
I don't know what way. Tom's our guy.
Swipe left is no.
Swipe left is no. I made that joke.
I think.
I made that joke this morning about a marathon course with too many 90-degree turns. Okay, app idea. Pair the runner with the race.
Pair the runner with the race.
So you put in all your things, like how you like training, what kind of course you like, elevation, flat,
Like
city,
if you
rural.
want to travel, like
Travel the world, and there was like
what kind of experience you want?
a rinder, which sounds a lot like a rim Tinder, so we're not going to go there. Rinder. I take all of that back. I mean, I take...
Oh, jeez.
And then also this morning, I got a message on the online chat from a fan of ours that hurt me a little bit.
Oh, no.
I saw this.
It hurt me. It hurt me a little bit.
I haven't seen it.
I don't like how much Anna can see everything. It's almost like
There's no secrets around here.
No, it's almost like you've got Superman X-ray vision. He used that for things he shouldn't. I won't say who it's from because, stuff. They said, hey, you guys are the best, but not Oscar's dad jokes.
Oh, gee.
Are you still going to stock Bandit? Thanks.
That was it.
That's it. Well, and the name at the end.
Just.
I was like, ouch. I'm kind of hurt, but hey, that's cool.
We are getting banned though, aren't we?
We are getting Bandit for
Yep.
sure. I talked to Emma. She's a nice lady. I met her in New York when I was there.
I love my bandit stuff.
Yeah, I think particularly for females, they've done an amazing job at like solving some problems.
Yeah.
Because you've got the crop, the
Yeah.
longer crop.
Yeah, so it's like a long line sports bra basically. I guess it has got two layers, but it's got such good pockets. So you've got two on each side, like of your torso, and then one at the back, which fits your phone into it, and it actually, like, you don't notice your phone at all once it's there, which is pretty game changing. And the shorts also have tons of pockets, which, like, I used them for the half that I did, and like I didn't need a belt or anything, and I had my phone and my gels and everything with me.
Do you have shorts or tights? Short tights.
The half tights.
Half tights.
Yeah.
What I'm surprised at is no one's come up with a pair of shorts yet that have a pocket that a phone doesn't bounce in.
Some of my Lululemon shorts have a pocket which is like, because I guess that girls' waistbands tend to be a bit thicker. So in the waistbands at the back of the short, which is like this thick, you can fit your phone sideways.
Yeah. Okay.
And then once that's there, since it's sitting on like the lower part of your back, it just does not move at all.
So the key to shorts that don't have movable phones is tramp stamp bands.
I use it
You
in the
could
back
say
pocket
that.
of some shorts and don't really have too many issues.
Maybe it's because I'm too bouncy, or not bouncy enough, or maybe I'm
Need
just
to grow glutes. So
yeah.
bit
Well,
tighter.
we learned that last week too when I was in the gym with my new S&C. We can talk about that later. My posterior chain needs some work. which is a
Doesn't
fancy.
everyone's?
Probably.
Sometimes I feel like that's a physio's cop out. Like when you go in
It is
with an injury.
significant. Like I would say though, for a lot of people, it's definitely significantly weaker than your like front side mechanics.
Anterior?
But yeah,
Yeah.
anterior chain. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they call the front side, but yeah,
Sounds like
a lot of people are weaker hamstrings than quads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I'm so like I just pull from my quads rather than like pushing through
Yeah.
the back and then yeah.
Cause ourselves a lot of issues.
Yeah.
I couldn't do a Nordic last week, but I did one this week.
Improvements.
Yeah. 7-day improvements, 168 hours
Nice.
and counting.
Counting 169 now.
Nice. Nice.
That little laugh.
I feel quite self-conscious about my laugh after listening back to some of these episodes. Tom's laugh doesn't change. No matter how funny or not funny the joke is, Tom's laugh is almost like a monochrome shoe.
Yeah, I think it was Maya yesterday told me that my voice is a little bit too deep sometimes. It just sounds like it's just crackling through the thing,
Oh,
through the microphone.
yeah, but people have made a lot of money out of deep voices.
I haven't, so
You should start. You should
if anyone
use.
wants to pay.
You should use the the podcast infrastructure we have here, and make like a sleep time story podcast
Oh,
because
jeez.
all of them have super deep voices.
Yeah.
Can we make a Tom Siri?
Tom
Like a
Siri.
Terry?
Just have my voice or something.
Turbo Tom
Google
Terry?
Maps. Oh, turn left up here.
Turn left. Now.
Oh, you were supposed to turn left.
Left. Anyway, if you haven't listened to us before, we do eventually talk about running. The way we do things is we talk about our training weeks, everything that's kind of going on, and then we hit some hot topics. We actually have an episode written this week.
Shout out to Mecca.
Yep. To go with our brand new studio space.
Back on the grind.
On the ground.
So hopefully the quality improves.
I think so. Oh, I thought last week was pretty good. If you haven't listened to last week, you should. How's your week been, Tommy?
Pretty nonchalant.
Okay. Is there a suffix?
No. Nah.
I mean, you ran for we ran with Maddie T
Yeah.
after we recorded last week.
Yep.
On Friday.
Did
Is it Friday night? No,
50 minutes.
yeah. 50 minutes. Yeah. So you're kind of fighting back.
Man. Honestly, like 50 minutes for me is not too far away from where I normally run anyway. So, like, I feel like I'm probably 2 weeks away from running an 80-minute, which I can kind of classify as a long run for me. So, if I can do that in 2 weeks, then I might maybe do nationals. But
Oh, cross.
yeah, it's definitely getting a bit close to comfort. But yeah, it's getting there, progressing. Like knees still feels a little bit just tight in places, but I think it's getting used to it now. So
It'd be really bad if your knee was loose.
yeah,
Like that would be way worse,
yeah.
given it's
Yeah.
a hinge joint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Doing a lot of stuff in the gym. so
loose hinges.
try bulletproof the knees. But yeah, running's been getting there slowly. Cycling, same. It just sucks in winter. It's
Yeah, are
freezing.
you on the trainer or you're out?
I don't know. I prefer to ride outside no matter what, unless it's like pissing with rain.
Yeah. They're
But-
just dangerous and
I also might have changed my mind on Tuesday because I went for the standard morning ride on Tuesday and I had probably three layers on top, leggings on, gloves on, like balaclava, everything. I was so cold still. Like I got 20 minutes from my house and my hands were frozen already. Because when you're running, it's not too bad. You're moving your hands,
And
so
you
there's
can
some
like
sort of
kind of
blood flow.
keep them like
Yeah,
On-
but on
on-
a bike, you're just holding
yeah,
it.
like right in the wind chill, eh?
It's like,
and you're riding at 30k an hour, whatever, not running
Yeah,
at 12. It's a
yeah.
bit different.
Oh, so cold.
Do
And-
you have like the proper winter gloves too?
Oh yeah, I had two
Yeah.
layers of gloves on
layers,
as well. 2 pairs of gloves. Speaking of gloves, we've got some nice on ones in store today.
Thank you, Logan.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Shout out.
And beanie with a wee ponytail
Yeah.
hole.
I
is
give
that what
on
that's for?
credit, man. They
I
think
put it on
about
the
their
wrong
stuff.
They do.
They think about all the little nitty gritties.
I've also got the on tights on
Yeah.
right now. They're very comfy.
On tights on. It's like onomatopoeia or something.
You got the tights on.
Yeah. The on tights are on.
You got the running on running tights. The running on running tights. Yeah. Running on running.
Running on running.
You can pay me for that later on.
Yep. I'll take 10% commission.
Speaking of being on, we're on time today.
Yep.
Sort of. I call being on time loosely within 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe half an hour.
Scratching at the surface.
Yep.
So
rush after 80 days.
and you're still swimming 4 days a week?
Yeah, kind of. Like, still in a kickboard phase at the moment because I can't swim properly. But the shoulder's coming along quite good. So hopefully get back into swimming like some smaller sessions end of next week maybe. So it's getting there slowly.
It would all come together exactly when you needed to.
Yeah.
And then you'll be on your way to Sunshine Coast in when? September, October?
Yeah, September. Yeah. Yeah, so
Nice.
yeah. I mean, honestly, the cycling is definitely the hardest bit at the moment because it's just so damn cold.
Mm.
And like, even in the middle of the day, it still only gets up to like 10 degrees. So on the weekends, you're like, you'd normally go out in the morning and then run in the afternoon. But now it's like, I'd rather run first and then wait till the afternoon to ride. Where it's a little bit warmer. But yeah, it'll be good.
I feel like this week has been okay for wind.
Yeah. It's
Like, not
it's been
too
nice.
bad.
And the key thing is that the sun's actually come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
because the last until this week, I swear we had 2 weeks where like it was just grey, like
Wet.
it just was wet, stayed the same temperature, and like
You could
so
almost
miserable.
just close the shop
Yeah,
because everyone who came in like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week were just miserable.
Yeah.
it
You
was-
were, I think, as a salesperson, you were trying to create every little bit of energy all the way to Saturday.
It's always like that. Was it? Tomorrow's the shortest day, isn't it?
the 21st.
Today,
So
tomorrow.
Saturday.
So the day after this, 2 days
Yeah.
after this comes, it's going to come out today. This is a very short turnaround. I'm going to have to edit the hell out of this and get it up before I have my body mechanic appointment and then have to pick my daughter up from school. So
Perfect.
we'll make that work
Yeah.
somehow. Otherwise, I'll be uploading this on the kitchen bench while I'm cooking dinner later.
Yeah. Just
Sometimes I wonder how we fit so much into a day. And you had a little bit of gastro over the weekend, so you lost 48 hours of your life.
yeah. It was weird though. It wasn't like Maya who was apparently dying.
Oh yeah,
Sorry to throw you under the bus at Maya, but
but
Yeah.
when you got food poisoning, you're at the mercy.
yeah. Of whatever's in
Of
your
whatever's-
gut.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what it was. Like I genuinely was scared that it was that parasite. Back again, I was terrified. I was like, this feels exactly like that, but didn't have any vomiting or anything. Just like stomach churning. So yeah, came to work and I was like I was all right for the most part, and then it hit like 2 o'clock, and I was like, nah.
No, you look like shit by 3.
Yeah.
2:30, I was like, get out of here.
Yeah, luckily I was only rostered to 3, so I went home and then just slept for like 14 hours or some shit. So,
Perfect.
yeah, and then still feel a little bit average in the gut, but
Sometimes
eat
it takes
food
a
and
wee
stuff.
while to like
yeah.
feel normal again. Eh?
Yeah, but there's a lot of it going around. I think quite a few people have had some gastro run-ins or just, I don't know, food poisoning or whatever it is.
Need to eat some sauerkraut and
Improve our
Kefir.
gut microbiome.
yeah.
Kombucha.
See, I'm on the kefir. Like, I religiously have that because it's the only thing that helped me when I had that parasite.
Mm.
So I don't know what it was.
You have
it was just-
probiotics.
well, yeah, that's
Kefir is a
kefir is
probiotic.
probiotics.
I
yeah.
know, but you could have some more maybe.
No, see when I had the parasite, the doctors gave me like all these probiotic pills to take, and they did nothing. And then the kefir was the only thing that actually like. I started taking that, and then 2 weeks later it was
It
pretty
kind
good.
of lines your stomach too, I think.
Yeah.
Like it sits in
Yeah,
there.
that's
Sits in
true.
there and
Gives it something to eat off.
Yep.
yeah. So
Little tiny little parasite thing. Just
What do you think they look like?
recommend it.
I reckon they look like
Little worms.
or little teeny tiny circles, and then they're all hairy, like
Hairy.
like. Go on, Emma. You want to say something?
I don't even
No,
want
they're-
to know what they look like, honestly.
No, do you know that just
Like a
reminded
little
me
arms.
of when people get like those like cysts or whatever. This is like disgusting. But you know, like have you seen the pictures of when people's cysts grow like teeth in hair?
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, yeah.
Anyway, Anna, how was your training week?
I got lost down a little rabbit hole of my brain thinking about little tiny round things that are hairy with little arms, and then they're all like joined and linked together. And
Like, it's like,
It's like the bacteria you see on the
No,
ants.
we will it's not like-
leave you.
no, you know
We're
those
here to
like,
stay, Tommy.
I don't know, at primary
I'm here to
school,
stay.
the pictures that they had on the wall, like of
Leave.
the emojis, like the smiley faces with the arms out
Yeah,
the side, like
And they're
that,
all like-
except they're like little grumpy.
It's almost
little
like
gremlins.
Mr. Happy from the Mr. Happy books.
Yes,
It's
yes,
exactly that. So I
Yeah.
can just imagine a whole bunch of Mr. Parasites in
Yeah.
Tom's stomach. Like,
Fucker.
They fucked me.
yeah, you got
A good 2 years.
intestinally. I'm not going to use that word.
and and like when you got a
I
stomach
knew what
ache,
you were about to say.
Yeah, I'm not
glad
going to
you-
use it. I'm going to backtrack.
when they when you've got a stomach ache, they're just like poking, like
Yeah.
Knock, knock, motherfucker.
That's what it fucking feels like. You can't do anything. You're just like lying there
Yeah.
at their mercy.
And then you're like you just try and like
Stand
not,
up and it hurts. You're
Yeah.
like, ah.
you try to not to have a shit, and they're just like,
down.
my flatmate who
the
gets
Gaviscon ad.
my flatmate who always gets our clips up on her feed.
It's nasty.
She was saying that every time the clip comes up, we're talking about some kind of like bodily fluid or function.
All right. Well,
Okay, we'll change
don't
the
listen to it this week.
We'll change the name of the podcast. Yeah, Body Spash.
Body spash, yeah.
So Anna, you've had some bodily fluid vacating your orifices in the last 4 days.
Yep.
None of the fun kind.
None, not Tom's kind though.
True.
I haven't had anything to leave mine.
Yeah, that's true.
Just sweat.
I
Sweat. Cha cha.
since last Wednesday I
You've
started.
not said that, Ricardo.
No, but it's funny. Sorry, Anna.
Okay.
We're just going to Tom and I are going to continue here. And then no, sorry. Go on.
Last Wednesday evening I started feeling a bit off, and
Like
since-
blue cheese kind of off.
Yeah, no.
Camembert.
Can we breathe?
I'm feeling cheesy.
And yeah, I just like got progressively more sick, and I did one of those fancy rat tests on Sunday that tests for COVID, flu A, flu B, and RSV, and literally straight away came up with RSV, and so I'm on the mend now, but RSV really it lingers in your chest and like yeah for ages. So I've had like a real chesty cough, and so I haven't been doing any training this week.
But
But I finished my university degree.
yo,
Well,
Get
that's
it.
assuming I passed my exams, but I'd have to have really fucked up to not pass them. So
you'd have to just draw on a whole bunch of dildos.
yeah, and I didn't do that. so,
Thank you for clarifying.
so I think I should be good. And then yeah, so it was very anticlimactic actually. Like I handed in my exam at 12, and then I was just like, oh,
Cool.
cool, that's done. And then I messaged Henry. I just sent him a picture like, finish my degree long.
And he was probably just like, congrats.
He would have been asleep.
Yeah, he was asleep, so I was just like, yeah,
Awesome.
I went to my back to my flat and watched Love Island, and then watched a rom-com.
Jeepers, that sounds like a sad afternoon.
I was sick in my defence, so I didn't really have much energy to do anything. And then I went to quiz night.
Yep.
So
How'd you guys go for quiz night?
Did all right this week.
we thought we did really bad, like
But turns
because it
out
was
we-
really hard. But we got 77, which is
Yeah.
4 off our PB. The winning team got 98, but
We started
potato.
Is it out of 100?
It's out of 110 because there's 8 rounds.
Yeah.
And then you get two rounds that you can double the points. So that's 100. And then there's one in the middle called the list, which is like,
Yeah.
you can get up to 10 points from that too.
Okay. 110.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got like 68%.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Well, we started horribly, and then we actually the last 3 rounds we did really well. We got like 8 or 9 out of 10.
Is that because the boys had a couple beers and just started?
Well, boy, I was like, yeah. No, it was just geography and some other ones that we somehow knew our stuff. But yeah,
lucked in. Nice.
pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much.
It's funny though when you finish those big things like uni or get a black singlet or
Yeah.
well, I don't know. And then you finish and you're like,
What do I do now?
oh, I'm the same person I was
Yeah,
an
I
hour
feel-
ago.
I haven't gained any extra knowledge.
I will
than
say
what
uni though, like uni is different. Like you feel like a genuine weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, like I felt like relaxed for the
Yeah.
first time in months. I feel like.
Yeah, there's just
Until Tuesday.
there's
Yeah,
this-
until Tuesday. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. There's like just a constant strain.
Well,
You're under pressure.
What I think it is that with university, I guess you'd feel this with the shop, Oska, but when I'd get home from work or when I'd get home from my lectures or
There's
from a
always
run,
something, yeah.
there's always like, I felt like I couldn't just sit down and do like, just watch a movie or something because I could always be studying or working on an assignment or something like that. So I guess it's that feeling of like, okay, like there's not anything else I have to do right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's the
honestly wouldn't
freedom.
know what that felt like.
Yeah.
There's the freedom.
I think that may also be the trap that our brains are. Maybe. Is that there's like, oh, how about this idea?
Well, lecturers always, like the professors always preach on you that there's always something you can do at uni.
Yeah.
Like you can
Yeah.
go home, you have to study, you can look up this. Like there's always something.
Yeah.
So you just subconsciously feel like you have to always be doing something, I think.
Yeah.
And then when you're done, you're like, awesome. I'm free.
I'm free.
I'm free.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and like I like that I never have to go to university again if I don't want to.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Um,
good.
Yeah, well, what have I done?
Oscar learned he has hamstrings this week,
I did.
or lack of.
Well, yes. No, I think, what do I think? I think that I made some changes, some good changes. I needed a hand. I needed some motivation. I'm old. I've been doing this a long time. And I don't feel done, but I needed an injection of energy, I think. I think you run 3 marathons on the bounce, and then because of the way I ran those marathons, and my son was born, and then 8 months later we bought the shop, and I was just fucking tired. I don't feel so bad now. I feel myself again this last 2 weeks, but I just didn't. I was running out of my own internal stuff. So Todd Andrews, who's an S&C, he'd written me a program about 8 months ago and kind of said, oh, you go for gold. And then we had a chat like 4 or 5 weeks ago with Maddie, who's my head coach, and Todd and I agreed that he would come and we would do an hour or an hour and a half in the gym every week together. And so he's been kind of hands-on, and honestly, it's good for lots of reasons. One, you're just having a laugh with a mate about how fucking uncoordinated distance runners are. And two, I think it's really good as a 34, 35-year-old to be humbled.
Yeah.
Like,
It's nice to know that there's actually stuff that you can be doing to improve.
Yeah.
Like you haven't reached the ceiling yet.
yeah. And I did enjoy, I've enjoyed it. And then also someone just to say, bro, you suck at that. Like, do better. You know, I can run 100, I can run 220K a week if I wanted to. Yeah. So there's nothing like, okay, it just takes a long time.
Yeah.
But it's not hard. You just commit to it. I mean, it is hard. That sounds arrogant, but it's like, you just go and do it. But I feel like in the gym, these little tiny micro movements, he's like, can you jump off something and then back onto something? I'm like, I don't know. Turns out I couldn't.
Yeah.
And so I'm learning all this new stuff. And I think that's just kind of reinvigorated and then like reconnecting neural pathways, because I used to be an explosive athlete. And I think I'd lost a little bit of that. And marathon does that to you.
Yeah.
Like marathon training, you kind of.
And it's all like running is all in the same plane of motion.
Yeah, 100%. And I think because I want to do this cross country thing, cross country is probably the one style of running that is not in that one, like necessarily all in that one plane. You need to be able to turn 90, turn 180, accelerate out of corners, cope with the ground moving away from you.
Yeah.
Like, can the small intrinsic stabilizers hang with the big muscles for 30 to 35 minutes, depending on what the terrain is and the distance? So it's been fun experimenting, and I guess running probably more so for maybe me and Tom, and you're still on the kind of the trend of lots of gain. We're getting towards marginal gains. And the gym, you see such big gains.
Yeah.
Well, last week couldn't do a Nordic.
Yeah.
This week I can get down to 60 degrees. You're like, that's only 1 week. So just like little things like that gives you, whereas I'd have to go and do 10 weeks of grueling threshold work to be back in the half marathon shape and see a gain
Yeah.
in the thing. So it's been nice. And then this morning, real fun workout. This is a good one for people listening. If they, this is like a strength workout, and I say strength because I'd say it's true steady state running. So we sort of call it like over and unders. And so you do 20 minutes of jogging or kind of easy running, and then we picked 2 paces. And so we wanted to kind of make the on pace probably just slightly slower than marathon pace, and then the off pace, that true sort of mid zone 2 kind of run. So for me, that's like 3:20 and 3:45. And all I had is just the K set up on my watch. And so we ran a K at 3:45 and a K at 3:20 and a K at 3:45 and a K at 3:20.
It's like over unders.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
over unders, yeah. And did that for an hour. And so you run, or for me, it was like kind of about 17K in the hour. So that's true steady state.
Yeah.
You can't race yourself, so you're not going to overdo it. Like, you can't, when you go out and you run hard for an hour, you sure as shit are going into that top end of aerobic tempo, if not creeping into lactate.
Yeah.
Just because you start, like the gears going, and you're like, this is slow, I can go faster. But the change kind of meant that I think you got a true, like,
You really had to
60
be real with yourself.
Yeah. 60-minute steady state, and you're like, and actually the up and down was really good because then you using different muscles, you're using fat burning, using carb burning, like you kind of. So that was fun. And then Tuesday, some 5x5 hill reps up Rapaki, and the loose wet gravel. That was good. And then Saturday managed 26 minutes of cross country reps on some of the national cross country course.
Yep.
How is it? How's it looking?
Well, I don't want to give away
The
my
strategy,
tactical
yeah.
advantage, because I hear there's some young fellas feeling a little bit nervous about an old bugger getting fit. I'm going to talk a big game. I just put the shits out with them with a K to go. It's a lot harder than on paper.
People who think they're coming down to run on a flat, nicely manicured Hagley golf course are in
So
for-
it's in North Hagley.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the course is kind
For
of
sure.
public-ish knowledge now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
there's bunkers, there's like little pinches, and it's shit grass.
yeah. So what's interesting about grass that's had rugby being played on it for like 6 or 7 weeks, and there'll be longer by then. It'll be like 10 or 11. Is the grass ends up like quite thick
Yeah.
and real long.
Yeah.
And it does genuinely feel like you're running the whole thing in a sandpit.
Well, it's not looked after as well. It's like you're getting rugby sprigs in, and the water's sinking in, that like 3-4 centimeters, and it just sits there, and then
Bit of pugging.
So I had,
Puddles.
and then the part of the course that's kind of next to the golf club and that whole 18 area, that's underwater.
yeah,
And so you kind of come down a little hill, which is like a 5-stepper. So you've got to really go, and then you just basically run straight into a pool of water.
Rumours are it's waist deep.
Yeah, for Oska it was wasted. For Dave and Russ it'd be ankle.
yeah.
But no, like on paper it probably looks pretty easy, but like you said, Tommy, you got 3 bunkers a lap. You got to go in and out of them, and you're coming out the tall side.
Yeah.
So you're going in on the downside of the bunker. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a half step, I'd say shin height down.
Yeah.
But then you're actually almost coming out knee height. So you have to jump.
Yeah.
Are they closing the golf course for the day,
Yeah.
or are you
Yeah. Oh,
or is it a bit of bull
Dodging.
dodging?
bull rush?
There's hazards on
There
the
has is no. You can't obviously can't run on the greens, and we're staying more on the side of the fairways, but definitely in and out of the bunkers. And so for those people running like 10K, that's 30 bunkers,
Yeah.
30 ins and 30 outs. Like,
It's a very rhythm breaking course.
yeah, it's going to be tough, man. So I enjoyed that. So it's been a pretty good 7 days, 140K, a swim and 2 gyms,
How good.
3 workouts. So no, it's good. And then we were kind of debating things in our group chat, weren't we? And I asked this question because I don't know how you felt, Anna. You're probably newer to this than Tom and I are, but we had some shoe fatigue.
Yeah. Still do, honestly. I'm just kind of waiting for like the next season of shoes to come in. I feel like it's been the same for a while now.
And the thought also came to my mind because I was talking to a brand about some of their shoes. You might have seen the email, maybe. Don't know.
No.
No. So I was talking to a brand about some of their shoes, and it kind of got me thinking about uniqueness. And have we lost, because all people might know, not know, they might know, listening, there's companies now that you buy last shapes.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the Pantone people kind of, you buy colors for the season. It's the same thing for fits of shoes and volumes and widths and lengths and all that sort of stuff. So when I started, brands were unbelievably unique in their fits and feels and stack heights and pitch heights, and that was fantastic because you could find the little niche things for kind of everyone. So my question for you guys today is I'll word it absolutely correctly. What was the actual question? Is the lack of uniqueness stalling running training? So we're talking training shoes, shoe development. So is everyone too scared?
Okay, I've got some stats to get us started.
Okay.
So these are off Run Repeat, and this is 2023 data, so might be a little bit different, but I thought it was interesting. And they compile it from like a bunch of different sources. So as of 2023, the average weight of men's running shoes was 277 grams. Average weight of women's running shoes was 238 grams. The average heel toe drop in road running shoes, 8.4 millimeters. And the average drop in trail shoes was 7. And the average heel stack height for road running shoes was 28.7 millimeters, which I think has increased. But just quickly circling back to the heel to toe drop being average being 8.4, I thought this was super interesting how the new Hoka Clifton 10 went to 8 millimeters. And I was reading the review of it this morning. The Kayanu 32, which is about to come out from Asics, has gone from 10, which it's been at for ages, and that's dropping down to 8.
Yep. Ghost drop from 12 to
10. To 10, yeah.
That'll end up there too.
Yeah.
Now, part of that is because the brands want to cram more cushioning under your forefoot.
Yeah.
Like,
it feels nicer. It's purely so you can put on the shoe and it feels nicer under your foot. Because, when you take away that extra 2-3 mil foam in the front, you feel closer to the ground.
Yeah.
Like your foot feels way closer to the ground.
The other thing about the pitches, is all of those measurements are done statically. I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast before.
I think we have.
But we've talked. So what I mean by that is they basically get calipers and measure it internally, because it's not. That's confusing too. Like if I use the Mizuno shoes for those people watching on YouTube, it's not what's shown on the outside of the shoe.
Yeah,
it's you actually cut the shoe in half and measure it where your heel would sit. I think was it 2.5 centimeters from the back, or there's a percentage of the shoe. It's like 12% from the heel to the thing, and then they measure it there. So even though this looks like it's 7 centimeters, this is only 45. Because the internal measurement, it's almost kind of beveled like a bubble.
And sometimes it includes the insole height, and other times it doesn't.
Yes, fucking that.
Yeah,
we need a way to do that better. That's driving me nuts. So, but like with training shoes, they're almost all now the same shape.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be that New Balance were a beautiful round forefoot. Brooks had that sort of more like pentagon heading towards a triangle kind of shape. Asics were triangular.
Yeah.
I'm talking the forefoot to big toe kind of shape.
Like if you're looking down on the shoe, the shape that
but now it seems like I put a shoe on, they all feel the same.
Yeah.
The only difference is people who are willing to invest in fun foams, and to make the ride sort of feel different. So I just wonder, like, is everyone just looking at everyone else?
I think two things. Similarly with how shoes do their guidance now, like their stability shoes, everyone's kind of moved in the same arc away into more of how they're shaping the sole rather than actual physical properties of like hard pieces. So a lot of brands have gone in the same direction with that. But I think part of it is everyone is because of, I feel like it might be partly due to the rise of popularity in running on social media. They want the shoe that follows the trends so that people like influencers or whatever find that shoe and like it. But also no one wants to rock the boat too much because they're scared of the reaction and they don't want to, like they can't afford to lose their market share.
It's interesting. Like it, yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Tommy?
Yeah. I think part of it, well, some of it is, Anna's right in the sense that because running is such a big thing now, like it wasn't 5 years ago, the competition has got way closer, and you see it in racing shoes. Like brands are testing against their competitors now. Like I don't think when we were running 10 years ago, well, it was obvious that they weren't because they were all so different. Like Nike had a Lunar Racer and Adidas had this thin piece of Adios Pro that was 20 mil. Like they were all so different. But now, ever since the super shoe came along, everyone is testing against the next best super shoe. And yes, there are some that are like the Puma, for example, that is unique. And no one else has really copied that. But I think because everyone's so competitive and they have these, I don't know, it's like an idol, I guess, like the benchmark shoe to compete against, that they don't jump too far away from it, which does kind of stall it in a way. But yeah, I think because there's like this norm of cushioning and how shoes should feel. Like I had a customer the other day and they generally couldn't tell me any difference between a Nimbus and a Counter.
Yeah.
I was like, well, they're designed to be two very different shoes, but you're not wrong because they are very, very similar. So trying to get difference between models is difficult these days, I think. I don't know if it's stalling because I feel like some of the shoes we have seen are quite different now that are coming. And brands are definitely, there's probably a lot more uniqueness, but like internally in brands. Well, obviously because they use similar foams, which makes the shoe feel similar in a way. But there are brands that are branching out and doing fun side quests like New Balance and stuff like that.
I think you're right, and what I'd term it is the brand architecture. Is getting better.
Yeah.
So you have a way better understanding of kind of what they're shooting for. Whether it's the Blast stuff from Asics or the Hyperion stuff from Brooks or the Neo product from Mizuno. Like, but what I hope is we don't see. If I picked on a couple of heritage or legacy brands, I don't think the 880 should be a stiff, firmer, rocketed 6 mil pitch shoe. I think that's incorrect. I don't mind that in New Balance's range.
But the legacy of the 880 isn't that. Same with like what we were talking about a few weeks ago with the Boston.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, you've just, in the brand architecture, you've just decided to fold and go, oh, Clifton's killing us. Or we'll just do that but make it firmer so it might appear to be better, more stability. It just feels like a rollover. A wee bit. I'm not that I'm picking on them, but it does feel a little bit like you're rolling over.
They kind of need I feel like there needs to be a new competitor in the market, which like a new brand that comes in and completely shakes things up, which is like what Hoka did like 10, 15 years ago when they like came out in a time that was very, like the shoes were very minimal and then they came out with like this maximalist image and it like completely shook things up. And then it like, I feel like that kind of, if that hadn't happened, maybe the acceleration into how shoes are today wouldn't have happened.
Oh, there's no way.
Yeah.
It's Nike's fault.
It's the comparison that's stealing innovation.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they all, and that's like companies pay people six figures to look at those stats weekly and see like, oh, what's the biggest model in this area? What's the biggest model in that area? Okay, that's winning. Let's make something like this. And then it's just like, okay, well, you've just got a Brooks that's turned out like an Asics because Asics is winning this area.
I don't want average.
Yeah.
I don't want averages.
Yeah.
Like our job, we don't play in averages
No.
because
if every shoe's the same, then we'll just have one shoe.
like, I honestly think I've probably been a part of selling 150,000 pairs of shoes to different people, and I have never met two people the same. So if we keep, I guess that was my point, was like if we keep narrowing to this average, of what the majority of people want, and we leave the outliers, say 30% of the market are outliers either that way or that, left or right, like that's a problem.
I also feel we could be in a lull.
Yeah, I agree.
Because running is it goes back to running taking off so much.
Yeah.
All these brands are like, okay, we have to make the next best thing, but right now they're developing it.
Yeah.
So they're all just like, okay, they're working really hard because you get a run club or a run group to jump on a trend and it blows up a product like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that wasn't available 5 years ago.
True.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
Well, we're seeing that with Evo SL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Literally, yeah. And it's that whole run culture and stuff like that, which we're about to dive into.
I also think that back to what you were saying about working in the averages and every brand trying to fit to the average consumer, and you are leaving out 30% of the market, which if everyone has the same shoe, then you're kind of like shooting yourself in the foot, I think, because if you can capture 100% of that 30%, you're still getting like a bigger market share than if you can only get like 5% of the 70%. Of the 70%. Yeah.
you got it, man. These things go around in my head all day, every day. And I don't know what the answer is. And I get that you need to have flagship product, which suits like the wider space. And making stuff for the outside of the average is really hard.
Yeah. Because it's niche.
Yeah, it is niche.
And it's like, the economies of scale. Like if you can make it for a larger amount of people, then you can make it cheaper. And
So I definitely get it, but I don't want the industry to end up there, because we have been an industry of looking after everybody. Yeah. Because anyone who wants to run should have the opportunity to do so. Like,
and have like the tools that mean that they can succeed.
So that's my rant.
Yeah. Wait, dude, this is last point.
Yep.
Also, it's funny to me that all of the brands buy the same color trend analysis, and then all of the brands, like the stuff that we've seen for the first half of next year, all the same color palettes.
But again, it's just so frustrating. It's like, okay, those colors look shit.
Yeah, you can't tell me they're not looking at each other.
No, well, they buy them from the color place. They buy their palettes and whatever you call them, and then they roll with it. But like, that's a lot of power for one company or two companies to have.
It means everything looks the same, doesn't stand out.
It's like, I get the global trend thing, but maybe I'm too old and cynical. I tell you what, I'm slightly cynical about.
Satisfy.
I'm not satisfied with the price. Tom wasn't satisfied with me even bringing it up. Although Tom hasn't been satisfied in a couple of years.
I think it's ridiculous. Like, if you don't know, Satisfy is a running, high-end fashion, I guess, brand that is, according to Matt, quite big in Melbourne.
Melbourne has the population of New Zealand inside of the 4 Avs.
Yeah. And the question was posed, do we need Satisfy? And I replied,
Tom said, hell no.
We don't live in Monaco or something like that.
Okay, for context of their pricing, guess how much you have to spend to get free shipping?
1,000.
Oh, well, that's wrong, so it's 500.
That's still unbelievable.
That is so unbelievable, but...
But $500 is like one product.
Yeah. But remember that you can get free shipping over $200 from a store.
And so I asked this question because we've been asked online.
Oh, jeepers, who asked us that?
Just people. People were like, "Are you going to do Satisfy?" I talked to Kate. I had a problem with the $800 Adidas shoes.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of money.
And you see, with the $800 Adidas shoes, like that is don't get me wrong, absolutely crazy price point, but you are paying for like the engineering and stuff like that. But what I don't understand about Satisfy, I'm sorry, is where does that price point come from?
I don't know, man. I don't know. This is
They've manufactured, like, genuinely, I think the brand has manufactured it to make their stuff seem expensive. And it's like a designer brand for running now.
it's weird cult thing.
Like Moth Tech, and they've called it Moth Tech because they cut holes in it.
Bro, I can take a singlet out to the.
This looks like a shirt that I'd wear in like year 3 with the tassels.
I'm sorry, I'm really shitting on the brand, but
no, but
valid to them. They've found a niche market and like rolled with that, and it's clearly working for them. But I think that it's not a Christchurch thing.
I just don't think region or even in New Zealand. I just don't see it in New Zealand.
Maybe North Shore.
but but I just think.
But then it's too alty for North Shore.
Yeah.
Like the imagery and the style just wouldn't fit there. It's like California. It just screams California to me.
Pertex 3L Fly Rain Jacket, 1,200.
Like who's paying
And is that
$300
Aussie
for
dollars?
a waterproof bandana?
That's New Zealand
New
dollars.
Zealand dollars.
Yeah.
No, the problem I have with it is it's like capitalism based on trend.
Yeah.
I have a real problem with that.
Well, yeah, they've seen the running trend and we got into a big debate on this on our chat actually, and it is genuinely like crazy, probably more so to me and you, since we've been running for so long. No one cared about what you're wearing at a race or a training run. Like we rocked up in old manky shorts that we'd probably worn 5 times that week or something.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, I need a new outfit every time I run. I have to look good for my coffee afterwards.
Again, running influences.
And like
We're bagging on it
it's
today.
cool.
Sorry, guys.
It is. Don't get me wrong.
It's cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
Because it has blown up running, which is cool to see. Because I mean, like running was not a cool thing to do when
We were wearing 2.5-inch navy blue shorts.
Yeah.
And a shirty singlet. My first lot of running gear was hand-me-downs from Phil. Off his Nike contract.
Yeah.
So he'd bring two like bags of stuff around when he got new stuff.
Yeah.
He'd be like, oh, here's a couple of bags of running gear.
Yeah.
Be like, that's.
I just don't want it to take away from like the pure enjoyment you get from going for a run.
Yep.
I think that's where it becomes an issue. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's an issue if you want, like, look good, feel good.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
But it's if people feel like it's a barrier for them going for a run is because they don't have like the hottest tech.
It's a barrier for people wanting to join run clubs too. To me,
Especially
if
like
you
in
can't fit
Melbourne.
into the aesthetic, you're probably going to feel a little standoffish or left out. Like you go to a run club and they're all wearing Satisfy. You're like, okay, well, maybe this isn't my run club.
Maybe we're in different tax brackets.
Yeah, so I shouldn't. It is great. It's great for running. Like I love the hype that running has,
And that so many people are getting so
And
much
so many-
enjoyment out of it.
are doing it now. But I also don't want it to take away.
No, I
from
think
just
there needs to
pureness
be
of it.
there needs to be a ceiling
Yeah.
of like we aren't the jewelry industry.
Yeah.
We're not
Well, it's like the
$45,000 silver watches because you can.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's the barrier and the perceived perception
Yeah.
of the inclusiveness of the community,
Yeah.
and we don't want to drive wedges in for the sake of capitalism. There you go.
and so capitalism, baby.
Yeah.
It's
good.
like the on low, I don't know, like the LOEWE, that designer brand, how they did that. Did a collaboration with them, and so it's like a very expensive American. I don't know if it's from American America, but I just know that it's quite popular over there. And like a pair of like their Cloud Runner shoes will be like $800 with the collab with On. And you are like with that you were paying for the brand name.
I don't mind if they're using the collabs to support artists.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like music or
Yeah.
painting or whatever. Like, I don't mind that because that's, you know, that's going back into a community piece and they might make 200.
Yeah.
That I can kind of...
I like that running is fashionable. Don't get me wrong there, but I don't want the fashion to be a barrier for people.
Yeah.
Or to become something that means that you have to have this stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost like getting to the point where people who turn up to, say, a park run, which shout out to Bryony and Dave who started
that's cool.
the park run along the river here in Avon. They have 400 people.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But we don't want to get to a point where if people don't have a pair of carbon shoes, that they don't feel like they can turn up to a park run.
Yeah.
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 You know? And yes, you're not responsible for the way you make people feel, you know, like all that fucking gaslighting bullshit.
Yeah.
But like it should be all inclusive. And we don't want everyone just to wear black and black. So you want to be able to wear stuff.
Like you want to be able to like have individuality and represent like dress, you know, do what you want to do and stuff. But
I feel like it hasn't reached that, especially in Christchurch.
Yeah.
We're not there.
But I feel
But I feel like we don't need satisfy.
No, I feel responsible for some of the community foundations. Because when you think of, you know, I was talking to Hayden yesterday who started to do our YouTube shoe stuff. He was like, when he moved here from Queenstown, everyone told him, like, we are the community. Like, everything comes through us. And so we need to make sure that we're...
setting the standard of like...
The tone, So yes, we want to have fun. We laugh at ourselves. We make sure everyone can have what they need. And if people want a little bit more, we've got a little bit more. And then we try and have some cool stuff. But I think if we set the precedent of $800 pairs of shorts, like what... That to me is I got a problem because they're not costing $400 to make.
It'd be like $30 to make.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
The markup on those things would be ridiculous.
I can't do it. So I'm sorry, everybody. But Bandit, we will because I like them.
Yeah.
and like I guess there's some of the features like because I was having a look at the Satisfy website yesterday. Like there's some thoughtful things like their care tags and stuff on the outside that you can take off, so it's like not irritating. Or they've got like key chain things and stuff in the running. Like I appreciate the consideration that has gone into those designs. Same with Bandit, but I think that it's the price point which makes it challenging.
Well, I can take that top out to the shooting range and blow some holes in it and make it moth tech for you.
Yeah.
If you want me to.
No, the bit that cracked me up was say it's like engineered to in heat specific spots. It's like where your body generates the most heat, and they've literally just cut holes down the back of the shirt. It's like, brother,
Okay.
just don't even try.
Be for real.
Don't even try.
So what we should do, what you're saying is we should go to the warehouse and we should buy some of that Be Active active wear and then cut some holes in the back.
Sell it for
Thumbs
$900.
up.
there you go.
So anyway, speaking of things that are a little bit odd, lots of odd things happen for us in a week, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
There's some weird and wonderful
Yeah.
activities
Yeah.
that happen. I had something new. I've been selling shoes for nearly 15 years, and I had something I'd never had before happen on Saturday. And this is not, I'm not going to name names. But I had someone Strava their
shoe
racing
trial.
shoe purchase trial.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is unreal.
Tagged you as well.
What's that?
Tagged you in the run as well.
And yes, and then I mean, credit, you got to ride that wave. Tagged me on Strava that said racing shoe selection or
Racing shoe secured.
Yeah,
was it?
racing shoe secure with the little eye emojis, and then tagged me.
Love it.
Like
I love
kind of
that.
iconic. Yeah.
That is not much surprises me anymore. You know,
yeah.
That did.
but that got me. So, yeah, the poll this week or the question this week. I think we're gonna have a question this week rather than a poll.
Yeah.
I think that the question is going to be the most random shit you've Stravad or seen Stravad.
And no Kirkwood golf course. Golf
Kirky
doesn't.
Yep.
So
See you.
does Henry.
Henry with his golf.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But
Stop that,
no,
brother.
but you said that if you're Strava in your golf, you have to put the score. So he started putting the score.
Oh yeah. Does he walk between holes or run?
Walk.
Should we do a speed golf promo?
Nick Willis did that.
Yeah.
But I Strava my walks. But if
That's
people,
okay. That's an activity.
if people don't want to see it, then gaff.
Gaff. Get the fuck out.
The craziest one I've seen it on Instagram. A woman's Strava to her birth.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, we don't need that.
Yeah, it's not a topic I'm getting in
Oh,
trouble.
Mecca put this in our podcast notes. An Instagram
dinner.
Strava wankers. Someone Strava their spinal tumor removal.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it if they were like one of those people where you had to do some fundraising and you were doing it as like a
Yeah.
GoFundMe thing. That's pretty weird. Can I run some ideas past you guys before we crack on to the next thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I asked our run club leaders for some feedback for Run Club. And I've started to get some of that feedback back. And we're going to have a little meeting next 2nd of July, Tuesday, I think, with the guys. So Run Club, something I hadn't thought about, different levels of intervals. So when we've gone to like a Rapaki or a Hackthorn, I've kind of just said, we'll do 4x4 minutes. But someone said we need to have some shorter intervals for the people who haven't run hills before.
Yep.
Track session? What do you guys think about that? We can incorporate a track session?
I feel like there's a lot of like, how do you say that word? Allure.
Hello.
Sorry, guys.
So Anna's just dying.
Yep. Allure around
Track.
a running track because it's, I don't know. But I feel like that would be kind of fun. And like something
Just
that
make sure you pay
people
your track fee.
without, yeah, exactly.
And we'll get on you.
In a fun way?
Yep. Probably not a fun way, actually. We'll just
He can ride me.
demand money.
anyways, back to that. I feel like it's a place that people maybe wouldn't go. If they didn't have a run club if they hadn't been before, like grown up around it.
I think people should run on the track. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And then this is an interesting one, Tom,
Yo.
because this is probably for me and you. People want to buy a training program.
They want to buy one.
Yeah, so like, because when we do the seasons, I write the Tuesday plan.
Yeah.
And we do our thing.
Yeah.
But then they're lost on the other days.
Right.
So maybe we need a front runner run club
Training program.
training program. We probably need but then it's so hard because I never want to step on
Coaches.
coaches, but at the same time, we're talking about barriers, and coaches, because they deliver such amazing products, can be expensive. You know,
Yeah.
whereas it's a generic, you pay $80, it's 12 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that, and it gives you kind of 3 or 4 things to do a week or some extra ideas.
I think it's fine. Like if people want a coach, they're going to pay for a coach. And like it gives the people that don't want that much structure.
It also might help them into wanting a coach.
Yeah.
And if they don't get it from you, then they'll probably get it from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Regardless, if someone's not wanting a coach, they, I don't know. Yeah, but I think that you're right about if they have a training plan and then they like the structure and then want something a bit more individualized, it's quite a nice segue into getting a coach.
Yep. So I mean, it can be like $80 for the 12 weeks. I don't care.
Yeah.
You just put it in. You just put it in the spring and autumn grind kitty.
Yeah.
You just have them in your cell, and then it just goes into the party. So I thought that was interesting feedback. And then some people wanting to run along the river. More run club merch, socks, neck warmers, hats.
More.
Yeah, they want more stuff
We should have caps.
like a snap, like a trucker or a
I
5 panel.
think you want one that you could run in, but like could be cool casually. I don't know.
Okay, let's do it.
Yep.
Let's do it. So yeah, that's what we had. There was some feedback we had, which is cool. And so we're gonna have that little meeting and then bring Run Club bigger and better and more stuff and fun and I don't know.
And there's a new Front Runner Run Club Instagram.
There is. I have made that after Anna's suggestion. I don't know how we're gonna run it.
I'll be in charge of the content.
It's a hard, yeah. It's like you don't want it to be a free for all. You don't want all the Run Club leaders with the Instagram account just to go nuts. But yeah. So anyway, there you go. Shoe of the week. Shoe of the week.
Mizuno Neo Vista 2.
You said that like
Very robotic.
you said that like at the start of an IMAX movie.
Yeah.
All you needed is the wee illumination.
How? Wait, we'll get Tom to announce in his accent.
My accent.
Yeah.
Your Irish accent.
Yeah.
Nah, that's
It's for special occasions.
yeah, special occasion.
You can't force it. It just kind of has to come
Saving
out.
that
does it?
for his first date.
I'd probably leave if I did that.
Yeah, they'd be like,
What the hell is this guy doing?
I'd stay just to see what happens next. Yeah. So this is the Mizuno Neo Vista 2. And thank you to Mr. Matt Roundtree who actually managed to find us some product after our initial indent was cancelled.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go for your first thoughts because you've written a review. First thoughts.
I have. Yep. Hope to be up to date. Anyways, it's a fun update. Like, I didn't run in the original model, but I had tried it on. And to me, it just kind of lacked energy. There was no real excitement to it. Like, you put it on, and it was just kind of dead. But Mizuno have taken that on board and created a lot more exciting product, I think. Some good updates. The tread is a lot better underfoot. I think it will help with the durability of the shoe.
Tell me that doesn't look like a vagina.
Oh my god. And infused some nitrogen into the top layer, which makes it a lot bouncier and softer.
Yeah, so the top layer is the same midsole material as what's in the Neo Zen.
Yeah.
Which is probably one of my favorite foams from 2025.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, and I mean, it is just slightly different to that. I think they even say on their website they put the plate in more for the stability rather than propulsion aspect, which I 100% agree on because it doesn't feel snappy. It just is designed to hold the softer foams together, I think, and give it something to bounce off. The upper, to me, knit uppers are interesting. I'm a big fan of knit uppers because they're very comfortable, but they have to be done right. And I'm not sure they've quite nailed it yet. To me, there's a little bit too much volume.
You're talking probably particularly around the midfoot?
Yeah, like it does feel like it's a 2E fit when it's not. But even just holding it there, you can see there's a lot of rubber that splays over the midfoot. The outside's great. But yeah, I think you do need to put, I mean, they have done overlays in certain places to tighten it up. But I think, well, for me personally, I like a shoe that hugs my midfoot. I like the area in the toes to have enough room for your foot to splay and feel balanced, but you do want to feel somewhat secure around the midfoot. Otherwise, the shoe can feel a little bit sloppy. But overall, I think it's a good update and another fun option to a brand that is slowly creeping its way back into the headlines, which is cool.
I ran about 100 miles, 160k in version 1.
Yeah.
I was using it as a recovery shoe.
Yeah.
Just to get miles in it to be able to write the stuff.
Yeah.
The two complaints I had, one was it felt dead.
Yeah.
And then two, the heel counter, particularly around the Achilles, was so stiff.
Yeah, right.
And it really stirred up because I do have a little bit of like sheath irritation, kind of swelling sometimes. It was just really bit in and it rubbed the shit out of it. So I think, the updates to the dual density, soft top layer, firmer bottom layer, which is going to give you some stability and some ground feel. I like that the plate is actually, it's not like real dramatically kind of scooped from top to bottom. It's kind of sort of a gradual, and they have filled in a little bit of the the cutout. That's basically in the version 1, the medial and lateral sides were completely disconnected. And I get why you do that, but it also compromises some stability and durability. So the addition of kind of joining those two things together, and then also the outsole is that's really good.
Yeah, they've definitely improved it. So they've added extra grooves that go. What was that?
Longitudinally.
Yeah, longitudinally. So it gives it a bit more grip.
Yeah. And like for me, my foot does have a little bit more volume, so I actually quite like the fit of these.
Yeah.
But I agree with Tom. I think either you have to have a slightly less material and more elastic knit, so you can kind of not wrench it, but kind of it sculpts nicer across the arch in the midfoot for the fit. I will be my normal 8.5. I found the 8.5 in version 1 pretty small. Yeah, like it was quite snug and tight, right? We have put this in the super cruiser category. Yeah. Why did we decide that?
It's too heavy to be a super trainer.
So it's 265 grams.
For a
I think that's a men's 9. I think Mizuno does.
Yeah. Which I think is just a little bit heavy for a suit. Like you wouldn't want to race in it. And I think it lacks the snappiness to be a super trainer. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a cruiser. Like you could tempo in it if you really felt like it. But I put in the cruiser, and I think I said in the review, like it would be a great shoe to do used post long run or post workout.
Monday shoe.
We still want to feel energetic, but not have to do a whole lot on those runs. Your legs are a little bit cooked.
I agree. No.
So it is 8mm offset.
Yep. 45.5, 47.5.
36.5.
Yeah, 44.5, 36.5.
Yeah.
Bad math.
Terrible math. Yeah, terrible math. And it is $350.
Yeah. New Zealand.
Yeah.
New Zealand. And just the one widths. We're working on getting some women's. We've only got men's at the moment, which is a bit disappointing, but we are working on getting that. No, this category for me is I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Why? You know, but I get it. There's probably a use case. I think this one, if we put it up against Supercomp from New Balance, what's the new on one called? I can't remember. They've got one coming. Sorry, Logan, I butchered that, mate. But they've got one coming, I think in September or August. Like Nike have their Vomero Plus, I guess, maybe. Something like that. I think, but this is still at 265. It's light enough that it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel as bricky as some of the others. I find some of those shoes when they get that big 45mm stack even with a little sort of more flexible plate can end up feeling like chunky monkeys. Yeah. Chunky monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also looks a lot nicer than the last one, I think.
Oh, the last one looked a little bit comic book.
Yeah.
Maybe. I didn't mean it like I said it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's a much nicer looking shoe.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a week in the life of. Now, if you've made it all the way to 70 something minutes, then go you guys.
Before we end it, I should apologize.
Oh yes.
I did include some athletes that have actually left school in the school preview. So apologies to you. But yeah, we had some fantastic results over the weekend.
Go.
I shall speak on seniors because I think that's appropriate.
Agreed.
Caleb Wagner with a little bit of an upset, I would say.
I don't think so.
He did win it last year, and triathletes tend to be quite good at cross country. Cross country takes away some of the raw speed needed for like a 5K or a 3K or a mile on the track, and it's a lot more strength based.
He's also quite a strong runner.
Yeah,
too.
He won it last year, so he's defending champ. And it was a right battle to the end. Only 2 seconds in it. Sam Ruth coming second. And then they were a clear 50 seconds ahead of Joe which I think I did put in prediction, the 800 man, holding it down, getting third, which was cool to see. And then the women's race, Sienna Mackley from Wakatipu High, winning it by about 4 or 5 seconds. So a much closer race in the women's. They all came in within 5 seconds of each other, the top 5. So
Wow.
yeah, a lot closer battle, which was cool. And then Mr. Beamish knocking off the world standards in his first race, the first steeple of the year, which is pretty cool. So he's now broken the men's 5K outdoor New Zealand record this season, which is pretty cool. And then, ran 8:13 over the steeple over the weekend, smashing the qualifying standards. So he'll be in Tokyo. And then poor old Sammy, I'm gutted because he's a mate, but like I think everyone else will be gutted as well. The standard is 3:33.00, and he ran 3:33.06. So like
That was it an opener or second?
no, it was, he might have done 3 races, but he's got a few more races. He's doing Prefontaine and then a few others, but yeah, he's right on the standard for world champs. So hopefully he can get it. It's always a little bit nerve wracking when you have to rely on points to get into world champs. So 2 great runs from those boys. There was probably a whole lot of other great results, but yeah, that tends to be the ones that stick out in the track and field scene.
I tell you what was cool was the Canterbury Primary School's cross country we went to yesterday.
Yeah. A lot of little frothers going at it. It was cool to see.
Did you see your little fan?
No, I didn't actually. No. I think he might have been in the older age groups. Because we stayed for year 5 and 6. And it's awesome. Like 200-300 kids in a field and just going at it and seeing them. We were standing in the last 200 meters of the race, basically, where they ran onto the track and finished. And some of the kick finishes were awesome. Like they see the finish line and then they just turn on the jets. And
Kids are so funny, eh?
It's so funny because some of them would make it like halfway down the straight and then just massive fade. And some of them would go all the way. But no, it's great to see and kind of support a grassroots event that I personally have grew up doing. And kind of was my first real competition, apart from all the school stuff, obviously. But yeah, I did it for years and loved it, and kind of that sparked the running journey, I guess you could say.
No,
so it was cool to.
It was cool to go out and like Mikey and this primary Canterbury School sports team just did an amazing job. Like, I think it's probably easy for us to lose the purity of the sport we do. Like, you get kind of hung up on times or winning or podiuming or
teams and all that,
PBs and teams and like all of that sort of stuff. But what you had yesterday was just pure enjoyment. Yeah. And these kids just running a 2K or a 3K course. Yeah. Just giving it everything. Yeah. And it was clearly the top 20 maybe of the races, who were probably invested in their running, to a little bit more. But then there was 200 kids behind them just fanging it. Yeah. And
having a great time.
Oh, there was vomit on the finish line. They were falling over. It was,
collapsing.
I don't know. And then like it just, for me, it was like that. I guess you got to remember why you.
Yeah. It's like, kind of what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that it's such a cool space because I don't agree that the winners shouldn't be celebrated, and I don't agree that everyone shouldn't be celebrated. So it's like they did a really good job at kind of celebrating the success of the top 3 or 4, and then making sure that everyone else felt like they had a really good time as well. Like, it's a really hard balance.
Yeah, definitely.
With a group of 8 to 13-year-olds to try and like maintain that. Hey, you won. Yeah. Which is amazing, but also amazing that the person who finished 60th finished. Yeah, that's amazing.
And they like gave it everything that they could.
I don't know. I think that's just a really. I think as a sport, because they're not part of our sport, they just put our sport on for those kids. As a sport, we could 100% go down there and just watch
Yeah.
how that worked and learn some stuff
Yeah.
because we are so far stuck in our own ways.
Yeah.
It's a nice full circle moment from the start of the episode, how we were talking about Satisfy and about, what running's becoming, but it's actually just thinking about what it's kind of all about.
Yeah. So, and there was just I think there's 1,800 kids.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids, and then it was cool to see like so many adults or parents getting time off work to go watch as well. Like there was actually an atmosphere down there, which was cool.
Yeah. So we suggested maybe we could put a little senior race
Throw
in the
some-
middle of the day just to
Appearance.
yeah.
It's like that sprinter. Have you seen that video going around? It's like this woman who I think she won the Olympic gold.
Oh, Shelley. Yeah.
Her like going and showing up to the school parents
She
100-meter race, and she
bolts the
yeah.
smokes everyone. That's
good.
It's so funny.
So shout out to Mike Wilson and his team.
That was a great event.
It was a great event. Nice to be out there. Beautiful morning. We should have run a 5K. 5K PB quite
Now
conditions.
Punawai can be calm, and it was dead calm. For these
It
little.
just has to be 3 degrees in the middle of winter.
Yep.
No, you guys got anything else?
Becca put the podcast question of the week.
Oh yeah, go for it.
So rather than a poll, I guess you'll do a question box. What is the wildest activity you have seen someone log on Strava?
That is the question of the week, isn't it?
Yep.
I think someone's birth is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I feel like that takes the
What's the
cake.
title on that?
It was just like giving
70 minutes of pain. I was like, I don't know.
23 hours?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It was like, the emoji that has like the 3 stars. Yeah, 3 stars at either side giving birth. It was just like that.
Well, like
I feel like it was kind of a piss take.
It had to be.
worked hard, pushed harder, great outcome. Like what are you?
Do the mahi get the treats?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
kicked home.
I can't.
Head first.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Fuck gravity. I don't know. Where else could you make the title?
Is for sporting activities.
Oh, could be sporting. Couldn't it?
It's probably quite a workout, Tom.
I don't deny that.
Having being part of 2 of them, I don't know. Stravaing is the best thing.
Yeah.
What do you Strava?
Oh, babe, stop my watch. Stop my watch.
Yeah. How long did it take?
What?
3, 2.
And are you stopping? Are you lapping it in contractions?
No.
Are you lapping? Are you doing laps?
Maybe it could be quite a good way to time the length of time
Contractions, and then are you lapping like crowning and then when the shoulders, or when are you stopping? Like,
And thank you for listening, you guys.
Yeah, we're getting too deep into this.
Yep. Okay.
I tell you what else is too deep.
Okay. Bye.
No pun intended.
Eat greens, whatever the word is.
Veggies.
Veggies.
Hi, Tom's mum.
Run fast. Bye.